Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, grasshoppers. We're going to continue with the English opening here today. Just because we can. Let's see how our opponent chooses to handle this. Oh, we got an echo. Let's see if we can make the most of this early morning debacle here. Our opponent is from France. Fascinating. With the knight on c6, this particular line does not normally work. But we'll see how it goes. We're just going to develop our pieces as naturally and quickly as we can. Do I want to play it that way? Yeah, let's go that way. Still seems like we're hearing an echo. I don't know if this is my opponent's preferred way of playing as black, but isn't that fascinating? Where are you going, sir? Knight d5, queen takes b2. Everything's hanging. Bishop to b4 check. Oh, this cannot be good. All right, let's go for it. In for a penny, in for a pound. And he flinched. So do we? No, we're just gonna take it a little slow here. Just a little slow. Try to keep him from reaching any conclusions. Playing an original position. We'll find out how we're handling it later. I'm pretty sure that e3 was okay. Really? Am I going to miss my Well, that's unfortunate, right? He's got a fork. One thing at a time. Yes. His king is stuck in the center for what it's worth. We are going to extract ourselves appropriately. Oh, you're going to do that to me? I don't have a choice. I thought I had a choice for a brief moment in time. Can I play it this way? Rook takes, bishop takes, rook c7, no. Knight f4. Wow. That's just too dangerous, but he's got me on too many fronts. Arg! We're going to have to get creative. Very, very creative. We had to take it on the chin. That wasn't such a good game. I think e3 was just too awkward. I should have just grabbed space the normal way in this position. So far, all of this has been played before, following the game Kamil Mitan versus Dmitry Bokarov. Now we're following Helgi Olafsson, and nothing good came of this. Knight a3, bishop e7, e3, castles, bishop e2. Yeah, we should have just developed our pieces normally. I still haven't looked up what I needed as black. We do need more Frenches. We need one more g6 to reach 145. Whoa. We're going to play the Gurganidze system. My bishop is pre-committed to this just a little bit, though, unfortunately. Let's keep locking down on that side of the board. Start counterattacking. Continue counterattacking. We have the center. Our opponent is dangerous. He knows exactly what he's doing. Should he go for the win of another pawn? We'll know in a moment. What? You're gonna attack me? I have to attack you. This is pretty ugly. And now for something completely irrelevant. Knight to g3. Really, where are you going? Mm-hmm. Let's stay as active as humanly possible. So what is he threatening? So far, so good. Very scary, obviously.
Communist Linden. Thanks for following.
Can we keep him busy? Oh, he's got that, does he? That's a bummer. How do I get there from here? Uh-oh. This could be ugly. I need to cover that square as fast as humanly possible. We're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Wow. Is that crazy? Am I losing? I am losing. Oh well. So we have both of our G6s in, so we've rounded it off at 145 for the G6 category. Let's take a quick peek at our stats to get. Good morning, Communist Linden. Oh my god. Thank you for the follow nonetheless. Let's get a quick actual ad in for Chess Informant. Informant number 159. Check out the special products pricing at the bottom. So as black, let's just take a quick peek here. As black, 145. So we're off the hook for 140 for G6. We need 9 more, or at least 4 more E6s. I think that's it. Aside from H6, B, so we need 1 more B6, so we can get B6 off the hook. Then we need to answer E4 with E5. We have 12 A6s, 3 F5s. And against D4, I don't know where my D4 sheet is. What do I need with D4? My D4 has gotten buried. It was here. Maybe it's under Ivanchuk. Let's put Ivanchuk back. IJK. Got Svein Johansson. We need 1 more E6 against D4. And we're continuing with C4. Because we started it today, we're going to try to get 5 C4s in before we head off to school. Change log.
Let's get ready to rumble!
We're going to need some serious, with 2 losses, we're going to need yes. And now for something completely irrelevant. Alright, now that we've got a little bit of help from our opponent, we're going to relocate our pieces to the center. Expand in the center and hope that we're not abandoning our king side. Well, that was interesting. There was a little bit of a math problem there. Is our opponent trapping our knight? He could be trapping our knight. But is he getting something on me? That's unfortunate. He might be getting something on me. Aha! We're just going to tag the knight on c6. Are we connecting dots? We have another one where that came from. And we can take another pawn, or we can centralize our king. I didn't think that knight could get out. I was fairly certain that that knight could not get out. Protect our pawn weakness on d2. Ruthvik, we're giving away too much stuff, sir. Alright, you got me. I admit it. Indeed. Our card Go is here to get me. So we have 2 out of 5. 2 out of 4. Not so bad. I thought we'd missed a round for whatever reason, but we managed to get the stream up and running with Rotterdam in the background. Rotterdam is still a hope and a dream, at least for 2 days. If I can get a round-trip ticket to Rotterdam, just a visit for a day, I will. Need to get into shape though for the World Open, among other chess tournaments. There's a great tournament in Serbia. Expressing my passion for playing chess. Alright, while we're waiting, let's just check to see what exactly happened in that particular English. Bishop c5 is way too soon. You want to wait for white to commit to being a g3 player at the very least before you play bishop c5 ideas. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Ron. Alright, let's complete our survey of what we need with versus d4 as black.
Pegasus Sway. Said God Morgan John.
Good morning. Good morning. We're going to work on our Scandinavian here. I think I'm just going to use some new Scandinavian every day. What about that? 146. That's c5. I've accidentally overdid it. c6. All of these are under. We're getting our e6 in, if I can remember. We have an even 95 on the g6 front. d5 against d4. Wow, only 72. Didn't realize I've never answered d4 with d5 on this particular playing server. (11 8/6s). Knight c6. 11. And a6 7 times. Get a6 up to snuff. b6. Well, if we can get the we can round things off. We can bring up our b6s. We'll replace the e6 with b6 once we get there. I'm hoping this is just allergies, but I have a feeling that I am slightly under the weather. That would explain why my tactical awareness the past few days has not been up to snuff. Literally. No pun intended. Actually, the pun was completely intended. Let's do it. No. Alright. We need 2 e6s. We'll need 1 h6. Let's get 1 h6 in. We're up to an even 15. Now he's put a knight on the f3 square. Get ready to shift across just in case. Knight to d5. Can we go in that direction? I don't know. Really? You're going in that direction. Knight to c4. Can we do it that way? No, we have to save our queen. Silly me. Does he feel like blundering? He did feel like blundering. I felt for him there. He wanted to stop bishop to g5 check. Or he wanted to put pressure on my h6 pawn. That was very unusual. So against e4 as black, we now have 15 h6s. So we no longer need h6 as black. We need a lot of e6s. A lot of e5s. We're actually now just positive, I believe. Wow, we've lost every game against Knight F3. In this position, we've lost every game against Knight F3. How is that possible? Should I go into an Alekhines defense with 8-6 in? That can't possibly be. All of my opponents have been fairly good except for one. That was a bullet game. 14-19 versus 13-02. D6 is definitely the way to go. G5 is too committal. Knight F6 also works. Hard to believe that. That must be a transposition to the bullet game. Wow, we've won almost every time against all the really good and high-rated players, except for this is the most recent. So we do need one more E6. Oh, here we go. I found it. The post-it note is over here, but I've redone it since. And against C4 is black. I need moves other than C5. Knight F6. I need a green post-it note for C4. And all the other openings, the bird's opening, etc. Because they are in the A volume, which is green. Yellow is the B volume, which is E4 other replies, then E5 and E6. The C volume is turquoise? No. Yeah, the C volume is like turquoise, I think. And then the E volume is maroon or red, however you look at it. So I haven't answered E4 with E5. I only need one E6 against C4. Alright, let's do that. I need one E6 against both C4 and D4. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Hay from the Vaho Chess Club. Vahu. Vahu? Alexa, how do you pronounce Vahu, Sweden?
I pronounce that Sweden, but I'm always working on how I say things and I might not have it right.
I've never been to Stockholm yet. I've been to Gothenburg. Can you imagine? I've been to Sweden and I haven't been anywhere but Gothenburg. Gothenburg is a lovely seaside city. That's where I played my first poker tournament. Trivia fact. Oh, I need to wash out my eyes. Alright, hopefully I'm not under the weather. Graduation at Columbia Grammar and Prep School today. I will post on social media.
Set Drep interesting NF3 first thought was KH1 but then I saw trust more.
G-Serp, let's see. I owe Ron so many studies. Trust more. Wow. Geez, sir, all in. The rook is hanging, so he's down. He's going to be down a pizza at the end of it all. An entire rook. An entire rook. Indeed. Having to take the bull by the horns. Both Ron and I are at all-time lows to a certain extent in the blitz department. We have our 500th game coming up soon. Well, no, we're 24 games away from our 500th game. We will probably make it by the end of the summer. So Ron's high is 2341. I don't think my highest rating is that high. I do have a longer winning streak. And his highest win is 2690, 2650. His maximum time spent playing, 5 hours and 1 minute. And for me, in Blitz that is, 7 hours and 28 minutes. My longest streak is 94 games. I have a 2666 and a 2655. 2245 on the high score. I thought it was only about 2200, but maybe that's my bullet rating. I believe my bullet rating actually reached a high score of 2200. No, 2100. Never mind. I knew there was one that was nice and round. Let's work on these high scores. So let's see, what do we need as white? We might need another D3, but we definitely need another G3, but we're going to continue in the mode with C4. Didn't look at our whites, unfortunately. We're going to go for the Marshall attack. And now for something completely different. We have to keep him from developing his pizzas if we can. Keep reinforcing our knight. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. He really wants to take my D4 pawn. Craziness. And now for something completely irrelevant. Just have to keep boxing up the center a little bit. My knight is relatively immune. And now for something completely irrelevant. Do I have the wrong rook? I feel like I have the wrong rook in action here.
Why? 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 Why?
Why?
Why?
Why? Knight to g4. Can we just keep going after him a little bit here? On all these dark squares?
Pegasus Sway. Said haha why?
So if knight takes c5, I think we need to bother that just a little bit. We're only playing this to keep our what in the world? You did that anyway? That's sort of a bummer. It doesn't necessarily stop my plans. So now we can capture. And he captures with check, but no. We must keep battening down the hatches. Wow. Are we getting into trouble here? We could be getting into trouble. But we will see how much trouble we are in just a moment. He's threatening mate. Wow. And he's still threatening mate. I had an extra piece to give back. Queen to f7, takes, 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 and rook takes. I'm almost willing to wager that last position was not anything but equal. Rook e3 was best for an advantage. Because I get to take, 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 and take. This king will be off sides. Oh well. Well, I didn't look at my percentages with white. What do I need with white? We need one more knight c3. Silly me. I could have definitely gotten that in. We're at 463 on the c4s. I'm assuming that the c4 is up to date. Need 3 more g4s. 2 more d3s. I think that's it. We do have knight h3 as a one-off. How are we doing on knight h3? We're at 40%. I need one more win.
Said, how are you?
I'm doing alright, Ron. I'm doing alright. A little under the weather, obviously. Perhaps a little bit of, I'm hoping, allergies. Against G-Serp. This is my last knight c3 for a while. How about that? Let's get the knight c3 out of the way. Transpose was one of my favorite. Oops. G-Serp does not have a classical education here. I'm giving up the center. We're going to keep his development as awkward as possible. Thought I was going to face G5. But no, we're not going to let anyone get castled so easily. Ruh-roh. I think someone's losing. What in the world? What in the world? I don't know where to begin. Knight f6, bishop g7, takes. Can I just attack that bishop? Is that going to work? No, does he? We have another way of going about it. Making life just a little bit awkward for him. Trying our best to make life as awkward as possible. Still have a microscopic positional advantage here.
Pegasus Sway. Said oops, only 14 moves. What happened to Zaberhaze? Must have had some luck.
Yeah. I blundered. All right. It looks like checkers. It does look like checkers, but is it checkers? Mate on the next move. Alright, let's check our stats. That was our last knight c3 for a while, right? So knight c3 is off the cards. We're rounded off. No more knight c3. Sorry, folks. You're not getting that corny move anymore. We're down to knight h3. Knight h3, d3, and g4. 25-45, and if I need a good move against an opening, against a strong player, we're playing c4, f4. f4 is falling behind. Our percentages are way low with e3, though. I should do a simul with e3. So what was going to happen on g5? Oh. Yeah, this is awkward. This is a little awkward. Knight f6 doesn't look right. c4 does look right. Queen e4 looks even better. That way I don't have to worry about boxing in anything. When people are actually, the average lead chess player plays it that way. I might play b4 and bishop to b2. Maybe I should be prepping knight h3 as white. I've never played the Paris Gambit. Knight a3 is strangely missing from my repertoire. Right? Strangely missing knight a3 from my repertoire. No game found. So in the Masters database, I'm surprised that e5 is the best move. I would assume that c5 would be the best move, but e5 I guess is going for the ruination of the pawn structure. So we're down a half a pawn. d4. Knight c4 seems pretty reasonable. Alright, we can handle knight a3. Alright, as black against Rich Major Sparkle. He's +1 against me. And he just played e4. I need one more e6. No. I need a lot more e6s. b6, a6. I have 12 a6s and 7 b6s. Let's get b6 in. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Que pasta. We're going to keep our bishop pair, even though his bishops look much better than mine. Continue the counterattack. Continue the counter assault. Pretend like we're developing normally. Give me another center pawn. Don't know where you're headed, sir. What is he threatening? There. Knight f5. Fine. Knight f5 is being threatened. Well, if you're patient long enough, I guess you could always wait for the move Queen e2. Trading pizzas as well. One pawn for the piece instead of two. Ye gats. I am going to be asking for it here, folks. I am going to be asking for it. And I do want to trade more stuff. More stuff. This was my ideal square for the queen. Needed to get these pawns moving. He gets that in. So c3. Yep. Ran him out of squares for his queen. At least he didn't get a chance to see. He attacked my bishop, but I wasn't going to take the Botez gambit. I was going to hang a bishop. So we leveled our score against... how is our percentage now with the black pieces as b6? We're getting there, slowly. 60%, we're getting there. That was our last b6. It was our last b6 for a 60% ratio. So we're taking b6 off the cards. We no longer need h6. We no longer need G6. We no longer need C6. So all we really need now against E4 are 4 E6s, 3 A6s, 2 knight A6s, and 2 F5s. Let's put knight A6 on the table. So we have 8 knight A6s and 3 F5s. Not much to work with here, folks. Not much to work with here. Guys? I don't really like the word guys. Alexa, what's another word for folks?
Synonyms for folks meaning family include clan, tribe, or horde.
Not much to work with here, tribe. Not much to work
Nicodemonius.
here with clan.
Said comrades.
Not much to work with here, comrades. There's where I go, straight out of St. Petersburg. So I'm watching this series based on a book. It's a limited series based on a book, A Gentleman in Moscow, based on the life of Rostov, the poet that wrote, the aristocrat that wrote I think he was a count. He wrote the poem that inspired the Bolshevik Revolution. And I'm learning so much about that time period. I don't necessarily know how much is real or how much is fiction, but it's fascinating because was it Nikolai Krylenko? Who's the violinist that they killed in the film? I'm sure that much of it is based on real life, but basically they spared his life but sentenced him to never leave the Hotel Metropole in Moscow. So he had to live his remaining days in the Hotel Metropole. And there's quite a bit of interesting historical trivia thrown in there about who lived and who died and the conspiracy to get the Romanovs back in power. And how the early police system worked. I don't know if you know anything about that, Nico. How was your birthday, Nico? Did you do anything special? We have a standing lesson coming up. We can do it on Discord or on Zoom, whatever you prefer.
Nicodemonius. Said I had a cake.
What is your favorite flavor of cake? What is your favorite flavor of cake? I tend to like this line more and more that I play it. Just getting 3 pieces out to white's 1. Even though I've lost a little bit of control of the center. What in the world? can't let go. I cannot let go of this guy. And now for something completely irrelevant. Do I dare? What? You would do that to me? No, Nico. I was prepared against that. I was actually just limiting the squares that your rook could retreat to should I actually ever get my king over to b6. I was actually trying to get my knight to c6. I was realistically considering to get your rook off of my pawn. With knight b8, knight c6. Strange idea, I know. Alright, what was that opening? Oh, what dev I played against b4? Have I not played everything enough? I've played as black. It should just tell you the number of moves. I've played f5, d5, g6. Amazingly enough, I have a 100% score with g6. The vast majority of my games. Oops. So what moves have I not yet tried?
Nicodemonius said, don't think I have a favorite type of cake.
I'm sure they're all good, right? I would have to say chocolate is the world's favorite type of cake. That's what I would imagine. Chocolate is the #1 preference because there are so many other choices for all the people that don't like chocolate. It dilutes the... Alexa, what is the world's favorite type of cake?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, chocolate cake is the most favorite cake in the world.
How hard was that to guess? Alexa, what is the world's least favorite type of cake?
Here's something I found on the web. According to the sources, the worst cakes in the world are cassata Sicily, red velvet cake, sweet pastry cow and almond. Too much baking powder can cause the cake to rise rapidly and crack. Always level off teaspoon measures of baking powder and bicarbonate of soda. A little extra can make a big difference. It's also important to use the cake tin size specified in the recipe.
Said, and if you were talking about a gentleman in Moscow, I believe it is mostly fiction.
Yeah, it is mostly fiction, but it is historical fiction. It's one of those where you can weave together real characters. It's true that it's probably historical.
Nicodemonius said, setting is real, yes.
So I get to learn about how people acted and or behaved in a fictional setting, obviously, but still, nonetheless. I wouldn't have gone to the 7th rank. I'd have gone to the 8th rank on that note. This game is so hard to win. To run your king backwards in this particular case, Zauberhaus, you're going to be worse. But maybe not. E5. I mean, if you just... I guess he was always getting the A7 pawn, so he does have something to play for here. I have no idea what the opponent is doing. Or in the words of Arpad Elo, the great designer of the current Elo rating system. Yes, I met this mathematician at, I believe he might have been at Marquette University in Wisconsin. I'm not sure, but he said to me personally about one particular game, the fellow with the black pieces, I'm going to paraphrase here, should have his head removed and it won't make any difference in the play. The fellow with the black pieces could have his head removed. And I feel terrible because it's one of my favorite players, G-Serp, struggling with the black pieces. We need to help G-Serp. G-Serp, are you ever on screen, sir? Are you ever on the stream, sir? Oh no, I didn't get a chance to climb back in. I needed one more game to climb back in, but it was a relatively good performance. Let's see who made it today. We had 19 players. What time did round 5 begin? 46 minutes ago. So you can register for this tournament up until about 5:15 a.m. So late registration for this tournament ends around 5:15 a.m., give or take. Congratulations to Ron. Well, no, Ron only finished third. Arcargo and Zauberhaus, who I really should have gotten in our individual game. I felt like I was doing very okay until I wasn't. In any event, have a truly great day, everyone. We have a new episode of the French Bishop Chesscast coming out. I'm hoping to cap that one off later this afternoon around 6 p.m. Possibly. And I have to give him more time. And I'm running a little bit late. Here's a new streamer with, I think it's a cat stream, not a chess stream. That's crazy. Only because I like the name. Let's see how many we can get to surprise her, because she will increase her flock by at least a 9th or an 8th. In any event, thanks everyone for being here. I must run to the early morning dojo. It is the Columbia Grammar Prep School graduation today. And I will be posting some pictures on socials. In Alice Tully Hall and Lincoln Center, I will be trying to post pictures. I forgot that the internet, the Wi-Fi in there is really, really terrible. Communist Linden. Cheers and ciao, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Ron. Namaste.